Hi everyone! Welcome to day 2 of the 12 days of Christmas. Day 2 is a little gift card holder. We can never have too many gift card holders at Christmas time, so I thought I would show you how to make this super cute card, or any card really, into a gift card holder. So we're going to use Real Red as our background. So that's a regular 5.5 by 8.5 piece of Real Red, and we're just going to fold it in half. Regular card base here, and my bone folder has run off. There it is. And then I like this, I really love our Twill Tidings paper, so I'm going to use that here on the front, and then also when we go to make our gift card holder on the inside of the card. So first let's make sure I've got my card going the right way here. So the first thing that I'm going to do, is because it's easier to work with, is while it's laying flat, I'm going to open my card up. And I'm going to take the smaller piece of DSP. So the smaller piece is 2 1/4 by 4. And then we also have one that's 3 by 5 1/4. And that's going to go on the outside. So I'm going to take the smaller piece first. And I'm going to use my 2-inch circle punch. And I'm just going to sort of eyeball the center of my paper here. And I'm going to take out a little bite out of that cardstock there. So then I like to use the tear tape because you have a good idea of where you're gluing it down, and I'm just going to do the very outside. So you're not going to do the top of the opening at all, and you're not going to do, of course, the center. So we're just going to do the very outside, like so. And tear off the backing. Wow, I'm going to fight with this one. There we go. And then that's just going to get glued on the left-hand side of the inside of your card. So that forms a little pocket for you so that you can stick your little gift card in. So this one just happens to be a little Job Lots card that I have, but it's just a little holder for you. Alright, so we're going to go back to the outside here, and I'm going to start with my DSP and a piece of the twine, our little thin natural baker's twine here. And I have it all measured out, but the way that I like to do is just leave myself a little bit of slack here. And this is sort of the last of it, so it's really curled up on that roll. Is I leave myself a little bit of slack, decide where I want my bow, and I'm just going to wrap it around. So I'm going to wrap it, and then I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to pull it so that it's at least tight on the back of my paper. And I'm going to flip it over. And then I'm going to use tear tape to hold it down. That's the easiest way that I have found to keep it in place while you tie your bow. And then we'll come back around. And I wanted my bow sort of up at the top, like my card over here. And it's going to fight with me. There we go. Okay, so that's where I'm going to end up with it. So we'll go ahead and we'll actually just finish and glue this right down to the card front. So then it'll be held in place, and we can tie that up. Make sure I get it right side up here. Okay. Always good to double check, because you never know. There we go. And we'll glue that one down. So then it's nice and firmly stuck. And I've got it all tangled. And we can decide where we want the bow and then go ahead and tie it. I first tie it in a knot. This stuff is thin enough so that you can do that, and it's not going to be too bulky for you. So then it makes it a little bit easier when you go to tie your bow. And this stuff is going crazy because it was the last, like I said, the last of the roll, so it's not usually quite so curly. All right, so there is that. So we'll set that aside. We're going to take some Very Vanilla, which is the background of that 12 Tidings paper. So I'm going to take some Very Vanilla. And then I used a combination of the Label Me Pretty stamp set, just for the label background. And then I also used the trees and the sayings from the Merry Moose set. Now, unfortunately, we can't get the moose anymore, but the stamps are still available till the end of December. Actually, I have those mounted already, so I'm going to take the soft suede. And I'm going to stamp my label. Actually, I'm going to leave that out because I might need it again. We'll take the label punch and punch that right out. Now with these labels, like you can see, I got it a little bit, but these labels, if you push into your ink too much, it does get ink in the middle of your stamp. And it'll make a mess on you. So if you have those, you do want to watch for that. And then I'm going to use the Old Olive and the tree from the Moose punch. So there are 2 trees in this set, and I use the smaller one for this little label. I'm going to stamp the tree in full strength ink in the center, and then I'm going to stamp it a second time without re-inking on the side. I'm going to stamp off, and I'm going to stamp it again on the other side, just because I wanted a couple lighter trees on the outside. Now I have So Saffron. It's the yellow, and that's what I'm going to use to put my little star on. And the little star is also in the Moose set as well. Cute. And I'm going to ink around the edges because that's what I do. I think I ink everything. I knew there was a reason I didn't put that away. There we go. Alright, so there is our tree. Now I also am going to stamp the Happiest of Holidays, which comes out of that Moose set. And I punched it out with the little label strip there. Classic label punch, I want to say. The name escapes me. This Happiest of Holidays just barely fits in this little label punch, so, but it does fit. And again, I'm going to ink around the edges of that. There we go. Now I have the Sprig punch. I can get rid of that. And I took some Old Olive, and I'm actually going to punch it 6 times from Old Olive. Little sprigs going everywhere here. There we go. And I'm going to use my glue dots because I think they're a little bit easier to manage. And I'm going to take a sprig and put one right down at the bottom there. And then I'm going to take another one, and I sort of made them going backwards so that I just sort of filled it out a little bit. So one was going this way, and then I flipped it over to do it going the other way. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom one. Put one on the end. And last but not least, I'll do one more. And this guy is actually going to go on the inside of the card. There's that. All right, so now we're going to take and we're going to do a glue dot on the top of the sprig and just put it where we want behind our tree. So one there and another little bunch down at the bottom. I want to make sure I'm not going off the side of my card over here, so that looks good there. And for the front, I'm just going to take and put some dimensionals, and I like to sandwich them right over those sprigs so that that'll keep them in place as well. Because I'm not going to glue the tops down, I'm just sort of holding them in their place. And I'm going to put it on the card here, like that. It's still having fits with the string there. Okay, we're going to leave it alone. It's going to do its thing. And then I'm going to glue on my little happiest of holidays. And then moving to the inside, we're going to take that last little sprig bunch on the back again. I'm going to put it down in the corner there. So then to finish it off, I took these, and you get a full sheet, but these are well used. These are the little glitter enamels that are in the holiday catalog with this toile paper. And this is actually the garden green, but it still works. Whoops, that one's alive. And I'm just going to put one down on the little sprig there, and then I'm going to put a couple on the outside of the card as well. And that'll actually help hold those little sprigs in place too. Oh, that one's alive. It's gone. Oh, there it is. Found it on the inside of my other card. Well, isn't that funny? Oh, I thought it was going to be staying there. And here. There you go. So there's a cute and quick little Christmas card using just the trees out of the Moose set and turning a card into a gift card. Of course, then you also have your room to do all of your writing to the recipient. So there you go. Another cute little card for my second in the 12 Days of Christmas. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you recreate this project. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy stamping.